Hi and welcome to Funky Kit, the Funky Kit show, live streamed. And today is the 3rd of April? Yes, oh, sorry, 3rd of May. 3rd of May. Okay, so on the show today we have Trouffman and from Overclocking TV, as well as Yao, my brother. We'll quickly talk about the agenda that we have today, and we'll have everyone on screen in a sec. Okay, so the agenda is, let's have a look. We have show you now news and updates on our website, and then we'll talk about the Intel 400 series chipset and 10th generation CPUs that was just been announced last week. And then we'll have a general chit chat, any topic, talking about like Bitcoin halving and all that kind of stuff. So that's all cool, and just general chit chat. And then we'll do Rig Builder. So we'll talk about Rig Builder again. That's something we want to drill into you viewers, so that we can give you a sort of extra thing for you to just check out the Rig Builder. Yeah, so we can build your complete system by using our Rig Builder. And next we have intermission. We have a couple of minutes break, and then we'll talk about the competition announcements, and of course the special guest Trouffman will be talking about streaming tech, software, as well as the hardware to get you set up on how to do all the streaming stuff, and the the pitfalls and also the advantages and all that kind of stuff. And then finally we'll talk about the next week's preview. All right, so let's switch over to the full screen with everyone and do have a quick introduction. So let's go here. Hi everybody.
Hey. Hey.
All right, so check your stream, make sure everybody can hear us and actually get the volumes and all that kind of stuff. So Twitch is good. Trouffman, good.
Yeah, Twitch is good so far.
And what about the Facebook Live, Yaos?
Facebook Live is good. Hold on. I'm just waiting for that delay to come through first.
It's good and it's gone.
And it's good.
Okay, cool. So top left-hand corner, we have Trouffman. So say hi.
Hi guys, I'm
And then at the
Trouffman.
bottom, we have Yao, my brother.
Hey.
So he's the guy, he's the architect. Yeah, we talk about the architect of the Rig Builder and having all this kind of stuff for us. All right, so guys, let's quickly go over to our screen. I'm going to do a screen share. You see this. 1 second. Let me do this. Let me do this. And everybody should be on this screen right here. See that? On the left-hand corner, you see that? Everybody's on. Oh, sorry, right-hand
All
corner.
good.
You see me on top, Trouffman in the middle, and Yao at the bottom. Everybody okay with that?
Depends on your layout.
Depends on the layout. And then on my left-hand side, you see the website running. So you got Funky Kit website, of course. This is our main website for hardware news, reviews, and hot tips. And as you can see from the scroller screen, we have the Intel Z490 chipset, which has just been released last week. And this is the pink season. I think this pink season. Trouffman, what do you think about that? Lots of pink stuff going on here.
I have a few friends that actually love the pink. I'm thinking of Chiro from Revolution Revolution with the WH in Italy.
Yeah.
I used to be a guest on one of the shows we're doing on Overclocking TV. He loved the pink stuff.
Yeah.
And I know a few Indonesian friends as well actually enjoy the pink one. I think it's good because that's gonna bring some more girly touch. I mean, it's
Yeah. For it's a different audience, right? Yeah. So
yeah, it's better than just the all black or the black and red. It's always the same thing for years. So it's actually interesting to see pink and not RGB pink.
Oh yes, true. True. Yeah. So yeah, pink is coming back this year. We see pink headsets, keyboards, mice, everything. I seen even pink chairs, keyboards, and even like all stuff with pink stuff. So it's interesting, and there's a different clientele. All good. And podcast. So this is the HyperX Quadcast, which I reviewed last week, and that's what I'm using right now. And the sound coming from it is perfect. It's what I wanted it to to get all the time, and this is what I got. So what do you think about this one, Trouffman?
Actually, this one we saw it before it was announced at one of the, I think it was TwitchCon 2 years ago. and we told them it's like, thanks, that actually looks good. That looks correct. I like the light inside.
Yeah, the light's
I like the light because it's not RGB and not flashing in every direction. So
yeah, it's just
so that's one
red
thing.
is on, and then off is, you know, the color's off. Yeah, yeah.
And the thing that is pretty interesting is the mic mute on top. So if
Yeah.
you tap on top, it's gonna mute the mic. The thing is, it's actually interesting that when you type, when we first test the first prototype that we had our hands on, when you type on it, you could do like a stung and then going to mute. It doesn't happen anymore, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is one of the mic that we use as well on our side. So I'm not using it today. I'm using an 80-20-20 right now from Audio Technica. But the Quadcast is actually at Xiala, my co-founder, place. That's the one he's using all the time.
Cool. So yeah, what are your thoughts on this one, Yao?
This one's is very good. I mean, it's built for what it's supposed to do. Is casting. Whether it's podcasting or video streaming, and it gives that much better audio than than using your standard.
You're using the Blue Yeti, right?
I'm using the Blue Yeti. Yeah, I bought that years and years and years ago.
That's still a very good mic, isn't it, Trouffman? Right?
Yeah, sure. The only thing is, you have to keep in mind what is the kind of live you're gonna do and what is the kind of usage you're gonna do. So for example, the Quadcast, I like the fact that the real estate on your desk is actually pretty small. So you put it, it's straight. It's not like the 80-20 that have like the tripod and have to move on one side.
That's right.
So it's just a matter of how you can place it on the desk is good enough. Now, on the other side, it's very gamer oriented. So I would rather use a Rode mic when I do a B2B conference rather than using this one, except if it's a technology-oriented company. So for example, if we do a live stream, and we can talk about that a little bit later, because we provide services for company that to help them stream their conferences. And I don't want to take too much time now because I know we're going to go back to that after the live, but technically if you have a gaming mic on, I don't know, like a CEO desk that is talking about finance stuff, that's going to look weird. That's going to look funny for people that know where that's coming from.
That's exactly true. I mean, there's certain products for certain type of video podcasts and shows. So this one's for gaming. I like the style of it. So I like anything flashy. So I'm going to be using this.
And technically, if you don't like the light, just shut it off.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So moving on next, and this is the pink mouse. So everybody's doing pink now. So I like this one. This is from Cougar. So just your usual standard, and this one's got a little bit of RGB, unfortunately, Trouffman. RGB. So pink mouse there, and then this is something I reviewed again last week. This is the Radeon RX 5600 XT. It's been out for a while. I've only just received it, and to be honest with you, I think it's one of these first PCIe 4 cards, graphics cards, and there's no real difference, to be honest with you, in terms of PCIe 3 or 4. I think it's all down to the drivers, right, Trouffman? What do you think?
I have not much opinion about that one. To be honest.
But yeah, it's okay. It works well, and I do like it. A price range between the kind of the GTX 1660 and the RTX 2060. So in between, yeah. So not bad card actually, good price. This one, Wi-Fi 6. We talked about that last week. Any comments on that, Trouffman, about Wi-Fi 6?
Yes, that's gonna be on the Z490 motherboard. So maybe it's time to upgrade. I will refrain to buy all the stuff now, even though Wi-Fi 6 was widely announced with product range at last Computex, so about almost a year ago now.
Yeah.
So technically, Wi-Fi 6 is good enough to be on the market. The thing is, do you really need it? Most people don't. I mean, if you just use your Wi-Fi to play Candy Crush and watch Netflix, not really needed.
That's true.
Unless you watch Netflix in 4K, but then don't watch 4K if you don't have a real 4K TV.
That's right, 4K TV. Yeah. So, but we'll see more Wi-Fi 6 products as we go along this year in 2020. All right. Next, some RAM. We talked about that. It's, no heatsink, no RGB, plain RAM. What do you think, Trouffman?
Silicon Power. I mean, I knew them when they were doing SSDs as well. They are on the NAND market, so they buy and sell a lot of memory chip. I don't know the price point for this one. It should be pretty affordable, right?
Yeah. This is really good price actually.
So Silicon Power, for people that might not know, they're one of these different brands that do a lot of memory products. They usually end up in the first tier of the bracket pricing. They never do high end. I don't think that was them, but there was some company that tried to do like high end kit, but very limited, and then they stopped. It cost us too much to do in R&D. But Silicon Power is always in the first tier. The only way they get beaten is on the volume by HyperX and Crucial.
Right, Crucial,
so HyperX is Kingston. So Kingston have huge volume. It's insane the volume that they have. I mean, on Amazon they are always on the top seller because it's insane.
That's true. Okay, moving on. Let's have a look where else we have. Going to this side then. Oh, our Funky Kid show. Yeah, so we talked about that. So obviously it's live now, and we aim to do this every Sunday. We have different guests, and of this week we have Trouffman. We're talking about the streaming tech, hardware and software required for streaming, and all the pros and cons. So we'll talk about that later on. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for Funky Kid website. Let's move on to the AMD website, Ep.83. So this is something that we've kind of revitalized, relaunched, I think earlier on this year. I told you about this, Trouffman, but it's more AMD kind of centric. So it's going to be all AMD related stuff, whether it's Xbox, PlayStation, because they all use AMD, right? So anything to do with Radeon, or the EPIC processors, the CPU processors, and then obviously anything AMD related, including gaming as well as mods and all that kind of stuff, right? So right now we have, let's move the screen a little bit over here. Okay, so we have this crazy PC here. Have you seen that one? Let me just click on that. This one is made by, it's Origin PC. Ludicrous PC based in the Tesla car. What's your thoughts on that?
So technically it's a Corsair computer now, because Origin PC has been bought by Corsair.
Yeah, so in why did I feature this? Is although it uses a GeForce card in there, it's actually a Ryzen 9 CPU in there with all the liquid cooling, that kind of stuff. So as you can see, for a high-end performance, you can still use a Ryzen processor because it's something that people are going in or aiming for now, is all the technology involved with all the new Ryzen chips, the third generation. You get 7 nanometer, you got the PCIe 4, you get all that kind of stuff, all the goodness for a fraction of the price of Intel. Well, back then, and we'll see what Intel has to come up with, and we'll talk about that in a sec with the Z490. But this is a crazy mod. What else is on?
Actually, you know what? I'm wondering if they're actually shipping one to Elon Musk. That would be funny.
Yeah, that's true. That's crazy. Oh, Cyberpunk. Let's talk about that. So Cyberpunk is something that is a game. It's Cyberpunk 2077. But what we've noticed is that there's a lot of Cyberpunk modded components, whether it's accessories. There was a GeForce Cyberpunk edition, special edition, and it went for like $5,000. What do you think?
It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But Cyberpunk.
I mean, why not? I mean, it's collectibles, right? It's always the same thing. Collectibles will always bring a special emotion or attachment to it.
Yeah.
After that, I'm not totally for the way to do collectibles on hardware that will be generation based. So, for example, graphic cards, CPUs, motherboards, but having some on specific use case that you can use them for longer times. So for example, the mouse, headsets, all that.
It needs to be somehow transferable. So basically, a cover on top of a cooler or something, which you can transfer then onto the next generation of graphics card or something that somehow.
True. All right, so this one is scheduled for 7th of May. This is the Microsoft Xbox Showcase. So they're going to be showcasing the hardware with a demo of see what it could do with all the goodness. That'll be on the 7th of May, PST, 8 a.m. So we'll see how well Xbox Series X will deliver in terms of graphics as well as gameplay. Lots of information about or news about the second gen EPIC processors. They're going to be powering the cloud, and also you mentioned here, look, that AMD's joining up with Oxide to do the advanced gaming. graphics for cloud. So lots of cloud, information. People get into the cloud space, and this is interesting. Ryzen 3, the kind of I wouldn't say low end, but the kind of low market end kind of processor, but it can do overclocking. And look at the you can do all cores on 4.5. What do you think about that? Since you're an overclocker, Trouffman?
So I would say I'm more a former overclocker. I'm still in the overclocking industry, but I don't overclock that much anymore myself. Right. I support people doing it. I just want to make that clear for everyone.
Okay.
I think it's cool. I think it's cool that you can overclock it. I see a lot of people comparing this specific CPU to one of the Intel CPU. I think we're gonna talk about that in the next segment as well. Mm-hmm. But it's interesting to have an all-core overclocking and a cheap alternative. So that's the thing. With the latest things that happened with the KSQ on the Intel side, they were by themselves for a long time.
Yeah.
The KSQ were the only one you can get to overclock on the Z platform. Even though the wording is kind of like changing right now, the fact that you have a cheap alternative that can help you overclock things like this, it's good. It's good for the consumer. So I think it's something that we have to keep in mind.
Okay. So what do you think about the? Could you talk about the AMD first quarter results? What do you think about AMD?
No, I can't. I haven't completely analyzed it.
Right.
I'm not gonna provide any. Let's say that anything that is related to stock in the technology industry, I won't give any feedback on that.
All right, cool.
I can't.
Or AMD confirms the Zen 3 on RDNA 2. That's something
cool.
interesting.
Let's see the benchmark when we can have them.
That's true. It's always what you call leaked benchmarks, right? Don't mean really a thing until they actually come up with the goods. All right, so this so if you want to check out some AMD related news and hot topics, go check out AMD3D.com is our sister site, and so that's pretty much it for the two sites that we're talking about. Let's move over to one of the main topics. We talk about the Intel Z490, which is announced last week. So this motherboard, which I got right here, let me just show you if I can get this on the screen. This one's from Biostar. Biostar is kind of more of a mainstream brand. If you go for like high-end motherboards, you probably won't get a Biostar, but they've always been the first to come up with a lot of new stuff, but we'll be testing this out soon. So this one is the Biostar Z490 GTA motherboard, and of course it's suitable for all the 10th generation processors from Intel. And it's let me get my stuff out first, right? So I'm kind of like not too kind of excited about this one because it's kind of still using the 40 nanometer process, and it's got it doesn't support PCIe 4 because the the chip and the CPU doesn't actually have that yet. Apparently the next generation will have that, but it's apparently the new chips will be good for overclocking as well, and we're going to be seeing a lot more of these Z490 boards coming out soon with loads of variations from MSI, Asus, as well as Gigabyte. And what if you have an older Z270, for example, then I think would be a good upgrade to go skip a generation, miss the Z390 and go for the Z490. What it will mean is that you have to get new CPU and a new motherboard. So it's that kind of cost that you need to think about.
And possibly a new cooler if the cooling attachment system.
No, the cooling attachment system is gonna stay the same.
So
the socket is the same. The CPU is the same size. The socket is different.
The pinouts, right?
And
different, right?
There was some challenges about the height of the CPU, but the IHS is a little bit bigger.
Yeah. So it's similar kind of fitting. It's just the pinouts are different slightly. But yeah, it's similar socket. Yeah. So it's LGA 1200. And I've done a video, so you can go and check out on our YouTube channel. There's a quick unboxing of the video of the motherboard, and as you can see, it supports the 10th generation core processors. It has and more memory support up to apparently 4400 OC. Usual stuff like Optane memory. This one M.2. Usual stuff. The board does look nice, but you can check out our website and find out more details. This one again from Biostar. We'll be reviewing other boards from MSI, Gigabyte, as well as Zeus over the next couple of weeks. So we'll start with Trouffman. What do you think about this chip and also the motherboard and the Z490, the whole thing?
I'm put on the spot here. So I think it's okay. It's interesting that we have something new. I will start with the thing that I don't like, but I know are necessary. The new socket. I don't like when things change sockets. Because you have to switch the motherboard and the CPU every time. You can't just upgrade in there. So AMD was great on that. There's a reason why the socket is new. There's more pin. It's officially said by Intel that it's for more IOs. So there's a lot of speculation going on, especially. And I will reference the AnonTech article about that. It's pretty good by Gavin. They went through like all the motherboards specs and figured things out. So there's more pins in the new sockets for extra IOs. So everyone is thinking that it's for PCIe 4, which is supposedly or allegedly coming on the next generation one. But as on what I see is a needed change. I see as well that some motherboards have PCIe 4 built in, some doesn't have it. Technically there's no CPU to test it, so how can you make something compatible with something that is not available? This is just a challenge that I'm struggling with. I mean, personally, for my opinion. Otherwise, for the CPU, well, I mean, cool. I mean, you talk about the 14 nanometers plus. I can't remember which one it is. But technically, for me, it's not a big problem. Yes, it will be better for them to move to the 10 nanometer or another kind of process. The thing is, the 14 nanometer process is so refined now, and I think it's gonna be good for one reason. The process is so refined now, and we know for a fact that the better the process, the better the overclock. So
right. So they refined the process.
That's the only point. That's the only point I'm actually looking at it. Overclocking wise, I do expect that to be interesting because the process is so much refined. They know how to do the process. Their yield is super good. So, I mean, that's the best thing that can come out of it,
right?
From my opinion.
Okay. So what about? I heard that the next generation of Intel processors apparently will have PCIe 4. And it will support all the other stuff that comes with it, and is supposedly compatible with the Z490 as well. So that's something that if you go for the Z490 now, you have, well, supposedly a upgrade path to the next generation or 11th generation Intel processors. That's something that might be next year, something like that. But then who knows? Intel might come up with another board, right? So
I cannot confirm nor deny any information about that. From what is public right now, there's a lot of speculation about that. Nothing is truly confirmed. I mean, if we look at some of the chipsets that are being, named, like right now we're talking only about Z490.
Yeah, Z490.
That's the only one that have some public information available because you can show the motherboard manufacturers. There is no benchmark available publicly. There is no test available publicly on next-gen stuff. I mean, we know Intel never talk about next-gen stuff. So right now it's pure speculation.
Right. So yeah, what do you think about, what's your thoughts on the Z490 and everything?
I've not much really because I've literally moved everything over to AMD now. I mean, I've left Intel behind.
Okay. I use both, mostly in AMD. I do think Intel CPUs are they are stable and solid and everything. I just don't like their price. I just never like their price. I never like their way that where you get a new chip, you have to get a new board, and that's something I never really liked about Intel really. But they will be one of the big players and still will be one of the big players because they've been around for a while and they've of course focus on, or like Trouffman said, refining the process, 14 nanometers, and we might even see some of the which we still have, or we've seen some of the processor technology, the server processor technology going into the desktops, right? So, that's all good. All right.
There's one thing though, like we're talking about the CPUs, but the only thing that is publicly available right now are the motherboards that goes with somewhat CPUs that they have been they've been showing, like the Comet Lake and so on.
Yeah.
But technically, right now we only have the motherboard available to the general audience. There's one thing that I see as a trend that is reverted now. For the past few generations, up until Z390 actually, we were seeing more and more micro ATX motherboard. A smaller form factor. No one is using dual GPUs anymore, so there's no freaking point to use it. The only point to have two PCIe's is if you have storage, but you have M.2 on the motherboard now. So what's the point of having a full ATX? It's more real estate. I know it looks better, it looks bigger in the shop, but to me, if I look at the motherboard that are today visible on the market. There is one Mini ATX from ASRock, one from Gigabyte, one from MSI, one from Asus. Micro ATX, I think there's two from Asus, both from the Strix, one Wi-Fi, one non-Wi-Fi, so technically it's the same. The one doesn't have Wi-Fi and the other one have the card in it, so that's exactly the same one. And they have one Prime, but they don't have any Gene or high-end micro ATX motherboard. What I can see as well, Biostar have a mini ATX, but no micro ATX. EVGA, they just have the regular and the huge one.
Yeah,
I mean the dark. Actually, the dark is well done. Actually, I like the way they designed
one, right?
the dark.
Yeah,
the EVGA Z490 dark. I used to have the Z390 dark as well. I still have the X299 dark. But the design that they made it for a specific purpose, that is for overclocking in the end. MSI have Mini ATX and Micro ATX, but one model only. So I see a lot of ATX model with stripped down options and features, but I would rather see more Micro ATX, so smaller computer case, smaller system. But this is my personal opinion in there. Because I do not think people need an ATX size motherboard rather than the micro ATX would be far sufficient.
You see the screenshot I'm showing you now? This is the MPG. This is the MSI Z390i. So it's being built into this mod which I made earlier the year. This is the mini ADM. Yeah, this one.
One thing as well, and don't get me wrong, we only see the Z series right now, so the Z490s. Technically, if there is an H series coming, there should be an H version of the Mini ATX.
Yeah.
So usually the Mini ATX get the H treatment because the Z chipset is a little bit more expensive to produce, just because of the license and the way it's being made. But technically, the price tag is a little bit higher on the Z side, so that's why Mini ATX is a smaller market than the regular PC. That's why they usually choose to focus on the H for HTPC, which is not true anymore. I mean, if you do a motherboard for the latest generation of CPUs, technically, if you're on a budget, you won't buy the latest one.
So what do you think about this the system I built, Trouffman? What do you think? This one?
It's nice. I would rather have an open bench table in there, but that's my personal opinion. Totally biased.
All right. So yeah, I think that's pretty much about the Z490. Yes, we have the board. We haven't got the CPUs. We'll hopefully be getting them next week or the week after, and we'll do some testing on the Z490 boards. Something that I would be, I wouldn't be too over kind of excited about it, but still, it's something new from Intel, and they needed to do something to show that hey, we're providing the technology that's going to be up and coming, but Intel fans will be satisfied with what Intel is going to come up with. Although there's a small shift to AMD, yes, gaming wise, but then you will still have those Intel users. If you're people who are, for example, doing a lot of rendering, Photoshop, video stuff, then I think Intel still has a little bit of edge, maybe. But Intel is still there, and that's something new from Intel. So we'll see more, and we'll have more in the coming weeks. All right, so let's talk about Rig Builder. So Rig Builder, Trouffman, I don't think you've seen this before, right? So let me quickly introduce Rig Builder. Rig Builder is a very simple to use kind of tool for users that could just go in there with a couple of clicks and give them a kind of a list of components that can be used to build a system. and I'll give you a quick example. So on our website, top left hand corner, you see Rig Builder. Just click on that, and it'll come up to this page where you have a choice of gaming or workstation. We'll just select gaming, and there's a budget kind of scroll bar there. You can select the budget that you kind of willing to spend, and then select our AMD for the CPU and maybe AMD for the graphics card. And what you need to do is hit submit, and Rig Builder there will go to the amazing Amazon store and bring a list of components best matched to the criteria that you have right here. You see that there, and it scrolls up with this. So again, if you think that CPU is too much, you can obviously drop down to different types of CPU. So let's stick with that. Main board, again, matches the CPU if you noticed. So Ryzen 7 3000 series will go with the X570. So that's fine. So that's all good. And maybe you might want to choose a different brand. Maybe I'll choose an MSI, so select that. A graphics card, because I selected AMD as the graphics card right here, I can actually then have a look what graphics cards available with the Radeon. So it's a Radeon RX 5600 or 5700. So I think I'll go with the 5700, and then moving on to memory. Again, depending on your type of brand that you're after, Corsair is good. You might choose something else. And again, with the hard drive, the solid state, the SSD, and then power supply. Again, you can choose and mix and match if you don't want the brand that you can choose the brand that you want. And then case, again, select the cases that you want, and then we're going to do is hit the buy button. Obviously, this doesn't buy the products. It will take you to the Amazon page where you can actually do the final check and see if those items are available. If they're not available, you can then go back and choose and then continue. The continue part will then take you to the cart, okay, the shopping cart, and that's pretty much it. So there are tweaks that needs to be done. There is still in the beta stage, and Yao is the architect. Yao, do you want to explain a bit more about this, or you think you're still working on this beta that you?
Oh, it's still working on this beta. I mean, the whole point of this rig builder was just to simplify it as much as possible, and to reach as much audience as possible to just build a computer. Fair enough, it hasn't got the specifics like the PC part picker does. We can choose bits for every single criteria. It's just right. Let's just see what we can build with a gaming rig for this much budget with this processor and with this graphics card, and that's it.
And you have to bear in mind this is programmed from scratch, so it's not like a whole team of people. It's just Yao. So you have to give a bit of credit where it's due. He's been working on this for about 6 months to about a year, and I think it's just pretty cool.
The amount of man hours is probably less. It's just I've been mulling over on what's the best way to do it.
Exactly. Basically. So again, we need your feedback, guys. So if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave your feedback. Give us a feedback, and then we can actually improve on that. There's still again lots of tweaks to be had on this, and then we can change as we go along. So Trouffman, what are your thoughts on this?
That's interesting. I think that's gonna solve some of the challenges. What I would love to see is now that you have the part, to have links towards content that you can, like, how do you build it? So more on because getting the part is one side, and what I see is people will be spending a ton of time on choosing and picking the right components because that's where you spend your money. But when it comes to actually setting it up, this is where it's becoming a little bit more different, and most people like I actually bought that, but I have no clue how to build it.
Yeah, exactly. What to expect, as in once you've bought the product, like for example a motherboard, is there anything I should look out for? So basically some sort of a review content or video content to
just redirect that to content that already exists.
Yeah, exactly. That's really good. That's a good idea. So yeah, we might add some more video links to that, and then on how to build. I think we did one a while back, Trouffman. Remember the kind of make kit?
The one that was live from one of the shows you were at.
Yeah,
right?
It was in the university. It was in the University of Hong Kong where, I don't want to be too political. It was the same university where the gas canisters and tear gas. It was the same university. But we had a
slight challenges, I would say.
Yeah. So that was we did a live stream there with you, and we were demonstrating on how to do some tube bending and kind of like, do some water cooling and stuff. So that was a pretty good live stream, and it was the first time we did it, and we were on a mobile 4G connection, believe it or not.
I remember, and I remember I had to be awake in the middle of the night to help you out for that.
That was good. That was challenging. Yeah. So imagine we're doing live stream right now from our homes and stuff like that with a good connection. Imagine doing that mobile, right? You've done a couple of these.
So actually, yes, I have some stories about that. As I say, I mean, we can jump right into it. But as I said, I am involved in helping companies getting set up for live conferences, digital conferences, and live streams. So that can either be on the B2C side, so directly to customers. So for example, a brand that wants to broadcast their new content, new product to the end users. Yeah. So directly to the consumers, so making a live shows, but we help other businesses to talk to businesses. So more on the sales. For example, you have a press conference. It's almost B2B because you're talking to a very specific set of people within the same industry that have an interest, either in buying or promoting your own products. And when we do that, we have to make sure that everyone that we get on board, so usually the speakers for a keynote or the guests for a show, are correctly set up. And the main challenges we see are always internet connection, microphone, and video quality, which are the three main points of doing a live. If you don't have any of these, that's not gonna be good looking or good enough for what you're doing. Yeah. If you're just doing a live show like we're doing, that's fine. We're addressing regular users. It's great, it's fine, but it's more in a casual and community way, right? But if you're a corporation, I will personally, as an attendee or a viewer, not accept something that is not top notch. I mean, you're selling products, you're selling something, you need to have something that looks good, that is reliable, and the content is fine. You can't make a live show about your next product from your toilet room or your bathroom or your... True. No, I mean, when I'm saying that, it's not you're actually sitting on the toilet. It's like the sound sounds like you're in a toilet.
Yeah,
it's not okay.
You gotta have the right sound. You gotta have the right lighting and so on.
It's like your business. You're a corporation. You're supposed to be professional.
That's the point. You're a corporation. You're making money out of it. This is a way for you to replace what you cannot do. So, for example, Computex is not happening in June. It's actually postponed in September. There's a lot of people not attending. There's a lot of exhibitors actually already sending emails like, we won't be at Computex, so don't even bother to come. And that's if we can travel with the thing. And I'm not going to say the name. And so there's a huge need for people to understand that it's fine to do something, but it's better to do it right. And you can't do it right just by yourself. So there's so much challenges and things that you have to learn over the time. Luckily enough, Timothée, my co-founder, used to live in Taiwan back more than a year ago. He used to live in Taiwan. So we were always doing shows remote. One of us was always remote. So we have been doing the remote production for years. Yeah. It's just that no one was interested. It's like, but we can do it from here. You can just fly you over. You do that there and the show is done. It's like, yes, but we can do the remote as well. I don't want to take a plane to just go, take a camera and film. There's no added value for that. I can just do it straight from here.
Yeah, especially with the...
be more efficient.
Especially with now travel restrictions, especially with the COVID crisis and everything.
You say the name.
I did. Yeah, I did. So, Okay, we'll talk more on that after a quick break. So, and then we'll introduce more about Trouffman and what he does and the kind of stuff that you need to do the streaming and stuff like that. So, let's have a 2-minute break and we'll be right back after this. So give me a second. Let me do my little screen. And welcome back, Trouffman. So we have Trouffman back online. So Trouffman, introduce yourself and tell us what you do and what's your thing.
Sure. So I'm Trouffman. Actually, my real name is Isai. Trouffman is my handle for like more than 17 years now, I think. I'm actually born and raised in France, but I now live in Canada when I'm not traveling. Well, right now I'm not, obviously. But I've been specializing for the past decade into providing live shows. Actually, no, it's more than that. It's more than 15 years now. Providing live shows at first for overclocking related contents. But nowadays, we actually provide that kind of services to other people. So we produce live shows, live events, and digital conferences, as the term is now more and more broad and known. So we have been doing that for quite some time already, and we have been ramping up in the past few quarters. So it's not just since the thing happened. It's actually just for the past year and a half, we have been promoting to do remote production. This was a need to reduce the number of flights we were taking and the time zone difference that we have to deal with. It was easier for us to have people at different location to do stuff rather than having to bring everyone at the same place every time. It's a different constraint. Yeah. So basically, we have been doing live shows and productions for a lot of people for the past, as I said, like the past 10, 15 years. We were doing it for us in the beginning on Overclocking TV. That was only about the niche market, about the overclocking, overclockers, and extreme enthusiasts. But basically, that still exists just for the overclocker and overclocking side. Okay. But behind it, we now have a full service for companies to actually just.
So was it the Overclocking TV that started off with the streaming? And
So long story short, yes, Timothée and myself, Soxiala, my co-founder, we were part of another overclocking website that was only in France, in French, and we wanted to push videos. So they were only doing in French stuff written, and we wanted to do videos. So we started doing videos in French, and we're like, wait a minute, the amount of time we're spending, we need to do that in English. So that's when we started Overclocking TV. Because we were sure, and that was like a long time ago. That was before Justin.tv existed. Yeah, so Justin.tv is the ancestor of Twitch.
So that was like over more than 15 years, 20 years ago?
I think like 13 years mostly.
Yeah.
So we had to deal and that was the same challenges. We had to deal with the bandwidth issues. We had to deal with the technology issue. Now it's much easier and we love it. But yeah, we started like a long time ago, and we were doing stuff for us over time because we had no interest to go to companies to help them out to do that. In the past 4 years, we switched, and we actually now help companies to do it.
So tell us a bit about the challenges that you faced and what kind of hardware that you need, that kind of stuff. So tell us a bit more about that.
So let's get to it. So the main challenge that you're gonna have, as I said earlier in the show, is you need to have the bandwidth to stream. You need to have the correct gear for the cameras, the video quality, and you need to have the correct gear for the audio. Now, that being said, the most important one is bandwidth. You have no bandwidth, forget about it. That's as simple as that. Hopefully today, you don't have as many problems to find an internet connection that is good enough. And I say usually because in the past few weeks we had clients that, for example, need to go on a live conference, like proper digitally run conference, and the person which is one of the main speaker was in the countryside with almost no internet. So I was like, that was clear, like, okay, if you don't have a better internet, that's not gonna happen. There's nothing we can do. I can't send you internet via another way. Even if you're on the 4G and the 4G doesn't work, that's not gonna work. I mean, it's like you want to drive a car and you have no gas. So that's one of the main challenge.
We faced something similar, a challenge a couple of years ago when we did the live stream about the I think it was a Make It Fair, and I was on a 4G mobile hotspot, and we're trying to do the live stream and stuff like that. And I think again, the bandwidth was one of the main issues. If you have not enough bandwidth, you're not going to get the stream right. The audio quality is going to fade. Your video quality is going to fade. And bandwidth was one of the main issues. I think the hardware-wise, I think we can get that. I mean, there's a lot of new hardware out there. Explain a little bit more about the hardware side.
Sure. So let's dive into the audio first, because the video has some challenges. So audio first. Built-in microphone for laptop, they're gonna sound shit. No question about that. Now, there's ways around it. I mean, if you don't have a microphone, that's fine. I would rather use a built-in microphone from the MacBook Air than a microphone from your, I don't know, like earplugs, the earbuds that you use for running, because that's gonna be even worse. That being said, having a good mic is important, and it's more important than having a tool that's gonna remove the noise. So you have heard about the RTX voice beta program. So basically NVIDIA released a program in beta that is using the graphic cards to reduce the noise on the voice. It's impressive that it works super well. So I looked a little bit more into it. It's based on speech recognition and AI keywords. And this is basically figuring out what is a word and what is not a word. So if it's not a word, it's actually just going to remove that from the audio. While if it's a word, it's going to actually keep that part and put it in your output. It works okay. I mean, for a beta program, it works well, but it works okay-ish if you're not an English speaker. Let me get that straight. I haven't tested all the languages because I only speak 3. I'm like 2 and I'm actually learning a 3rd one. But it works best in English than it is in other languages.
Of course,
I think this is because they use the AI system, so the speech recognition will pick up that.
It needs a bit of training. So basically, the English language is being used so much that it's pretty much got a good, base level of training. I can recognize the English language, but like you said, different languages, then you'll need much more training to see the way voice.
And yeah, you mentioned about the RTX has special encoding hardware, right? That is ideal for streaming.
Yeah, Trouffman will probably know about this. Is the RTX has got a separate video encoder on with the graphics card. So I'm not sure whether this RTX.
They use the Tensor core. Yeah, so they use the core that are supposedly used for ray tracing. If you use ray tracing as a dedicated system just for that. Once again, technically the RTX voice system, you cannot use it if you don't have an RTX graphic card. There's ways around it. I actually did install that on my laptop that uses a GTX 1060, so it does work, but anyway, it's still in beta. There are other software that are paying software. So RTX voice is free unless you don't have an RTX card and then you have to buy it, then it's not free, but the software itself is free. There are other solutions on the market that exist that you have to pay for. And I had a discussion with one of my clients just last week. I can buy this software $5 a month so I can sound good on the stream and use my built-in mic. It's like, okay, a microphone is $80. After a year of using that software, you're gonna have that's the same price as buying a microphone. So
it pays for itself in the end, doesn't it?
I do understand why. I do understand why if you're a company, you don't want to buy everyone a headset. But in the end, you're gonna have to. If people work from home, you're gonna have to do it anyway. So that's the first thing. Few audio things to keep in mind as well is if you use Bluetooth, you might have a lag in between your video and your sound. That is depending on the computer you use, on the system you use, on the headset you use. So all in all, you never know. You have to test.
A wired microphone is always best, right?
Wired microphone is always best. It's not always possible, especially if you use a laptop that have limited connections and ports. Or, sometimes, like for example, I always use my HyperX Cloud Mix, which is a Bluetooth all wired headset, and you have an extra mic with it. I like it. I mean, it's a pretty decent decent headset, but when I'm actually doing a live like this, I'm actually using my microphone. I'm using an 80-20-20 from Audio-Technica right now. It's not new at all. Okay. There's some new ones. I used to have a Rode Procaster as well, which is a little bit more a radio voice kind of approach.
We saw that the on the I think it was on one of the websites there. They're releasing a lot of kind of streaming kind of audio equipment now, and I saw that quite interesting. Okay, let's talk about some of the video hardware that you need. I mean, it's not just sound, right? You got the video to go with it. So explain a little bit about that, how it works. I mean, what kind of camera equipment is a webcam suffice, or do you need to get a little bit more creative and get something more professional? What do you think?
So whatever you're gonna choose for the video, keep in mind that's not gonna do everything, because the video is gonna be always as good as the light you can have. So the light is actually the keyword, but people think about the camera. It's like, oh, I can get a Brio 4K from Logitech. Sure, yes, you can. But if you still use it in a very dark or not very well lit environment, that's gonna be full of noise. So that's not gonna change anything. So yes, you can get webcams. I'm actually using a C920 right now. It's not new at all. It's an old stuff, but it works.
I'm using the same as well.
No, I mean, if the C920 is cheap enough, if you know how to manage it.
So actually, you do a little example, Yao, about the lighting, how it affects the actual image.
Oh yes. I've got a light in front of me, and let me show you the difference, as Trouffman says. It's struggling to, it's although I got natural light.
Now switch
my
on
face is
the
still
light.
Dark. And if I switch on the light, it gives it a nice effect. See, Trouffman's just showed us he's got a light as well, and turned it off and on. And
oh damn, that's what I need to do. I need to get a better light.
Yes. So in terms of light, Elgato, which is now owned by Corsair, but it's still the brand Elgato, they have the key light. It's one of the most used for streamers because it was targeted straight at them. So that's one of the interesting things. Right now, I'm using a Litra, Litra. They're based in the US, in San Diego. And they have this, they usually do that for photo studios or outdoor cameras. So it's actually an outdoor light for shootings. They have the Pro and the Studio. They work both pretty nice. What is important is you can change the intensity and the color. It doesn't have to be RGB. Please don't. That's not needed.
Just white light. That's all you need.
So you need white light, but a white light sometimes can be a cold white or warm white. So it's basically, is it white or yellowish? So this is what's gonna change and to adapt to other lights that you have. So for example, Yao, you have that extra light and you have the outdoor light. I have an outside natural light coming to my room, and I have this extra fill light on the side to break the shadow I have here on that side that I have to adjust from time to time. So that's the main part. So now I'm talking about cameras. Yes, you can get webcams. Right now they're in tight supplies, especially in Europe and North America, because pretty much all the stock vanished. For example, in Canada, I cannot buy a Logitech Brio 4K ever, like anywhere. Like Dell.com doesn't have them, even if they don't sell them. Amazon doesn't have any. It's gone. Like there's no stock whatsoever. And if you get one, it's gonna be like 3 times the price. So right now, I would say figure things out. Unless you have a conference to do, don't rush for webcam. But yes, you can get a webcam. Other things is avoid all the cheap stuff that won't be better than the one that you have built in your computer. There's ways around that to make it look better, but it will never look good enough. One thing with the webcams, you're gonna have issue with the drivers, especially if you want to do multi-camera. I would just say, unless you know exactly what you're doing, just don't do it.
Yes, exactly. I'm actually getting that experience right now where I'm having like 2 webcams. And if you plug both of them in on the same kind of USB kind of area, it won't detect. I have to plug it into another USB port so that it can actually show both cameras. Now, that's again to do with your system as well as your drivers and so on. But that's something that you need to look out for. And also, tell us about the capture cards, because a lot of them now.
So yeah, that's my next point.
Cool.
But for the camera, you have a very good point. If you plug multiple video input devices on the same USB hub, you're gonna have challenges, and this is just because the way Windows access that feed will use always the maximum bandwidth from that port, even if it doesn't need it. So I still don't know why it's like this. It's not fixable. You can just find workarounds, but not fixable this way. So there's other solutions that you can get on the market. You can get, for example, a capture card. This one is a knock-on Chinese version pretty cheap. The color quality is not that great, but it's cheap. And you can get the cam link from Elgato as well. Yeah, you have one. And once again, the reason why you want to use that is to capture a computer that is on the network or that is not on the network, and you need to have this output to it. You can connect, for example, if you use a cell phone and you can have HDMI out, you can connect that to your HDMI capture. But the best and most important things that you can use is to use a DSLR camera. So for example, a Sony camera like I think you're using, Winston.
Yep. Right now I have the Sony 6400 camera, and that's connected to the cam link that you just showed. And that's HDMI coming output from the camera, going straight into that little dongle. And then that little dongle then goes to the USB port. But I'm not sure if it's running 4K. No, actually, I set it to 1080p, but the quality from that camera is superb, right? But obviously, you can set to 4K, and you're going to get like superb video quality. Yeah.
I will say, and that's my personal opinion, no one needs 4K right now. Like it's even on Steam, it's less than 1.5% of the people that can actually have a screen in 4K.
Or stream or view it, right?
Like streaming, you need more bandwidth. Actually, the bandwidth is already a problem to get people with 1080. So let's stick to 1080. Let's make it look good, and then we move to 4K.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
There's one thing that you have to know: not all the DSLRs, not all the cameras would work on having HDMI out. From our testing, the one that works very well, Sony Alpha 6000 something. 6100, 6200, 6300, 6400, they work well. The Panasonic GH and G series, they work perfectly well. That's the one we use for production. We use the GH5, GH5S.
Yeah, I think a lot uses that. Yeah, it's a good camera for.
It's a good camera, but it's expensive, right? It is the price of a computer sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, if you count the camera, the capture card, and the lens, you're almost like 1,500 euros. I mean, that is expensive. So it always depends. Like if you just do conference call, get a light, proper light, that's going to be enough. If you get a digital conference, yes. If you step up and you want to do a proper show and record things, then you go to that route. One thing as well, you can use the GoPros with the HDMI.
I never actually thought about that. So how does the GoPro work? I mean, is the quality good enough, and is the feed fast enough, and so on?
So up until the GoPro Hero 7, which is here, you could plug on the side as an HDMI, micro HDMI port. So you would be plugging it in your camera, in the DSLR camera, you can just get that to the HDMI out. There's a few settings on the camera you need to figure out. You can select the fisheye, or you can select the narrow. There's multiple angles that you can have. One thing though, you still need to be able to power it while you're actually using that. And starting from the GoPro Hero 8, you need to have an extra mode. So they call that the media mode, which have power inputs, HDMI out, and audio input as well. So technically that's gonna, and once again, it's a matter of budget and price.
Yeah.
A C920 is about 100, 120 euros. Brio 4K is about 350. If you talk about the GoPro, that's actually 350, the GoPro, and then you need the cam link, which is 200 something I think now, and you need the cable, and that's it. And if you have the GoPro Hero 8, you need $80 more for the media mode. So then you arrive like, it's like, okay,
yeah, budget goes up and up and up. Yeah.
So that's the thing. If you have it, yes, you can use it. If you don't have it, just don't go buy that. I just work with people that know exactly what you need, like people like us, for example, at Epic Studio. We will be able to tell you like that's what you need for what you're trying to do.
That's true. Here. So for my instance, I already have the camera because I use that for filming my YouTube videos. I also use that camera to do photos and things like that. So I already have that camera. So I might as well use that to the best, and then just kind of use the equipment that you have already, right? But there's no need to buy extra stuff that you don't need, or you think it's going to be better when you're just starting off. But if you have a camera already, just use that. Yeah.
People will think, I need a better camera, I need a better video, so I need a better camera. No, actually you need better light, because usually better light will bring better result than just a new camera. So that's one of the main things. There is other move by the industry that I want to talk about quickly. This is a personal opinion. Like, let's make this clear. Canon released a beta program that you can plug your existing Canon camera through USB on your computer as a webcam. Sure, great, it's welcome. Now, I do believe this is a opportunistic move that won't last, because it's been asked by the creator community for years. Like no kidding, it's been years we're telling them, when you do a DSLR, please allow the use as a webcam so we can use a better quality for the streams. It's been years people have been requesting, it's impossible, it cannot be done, blah 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 blah. And now you can do it. Oh my god. Like, okay, that's good, thanks. But that is beta. We know that it won't always work, and for sure when this pandemic is over, the software will never be maintained or anything. It's gonna be end of life, and then you have a new firmware for your camera, and then oh my god, no, sorry, you can't do it anymore. So I'm seeing that as, yes, it's great. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they're gonna keep on doing it, and I hope there's gonna be a feature that they commit to in the
it's a massive opportunity for Canon to really get a foot into the.
I mean,
the
any
streaming.
DSLR, Sony could do it, Panasonic could do it, Canon is doing it,
so
Nikon could do it as well.
Yao's got the Canon camera, and one of his greatest disadvantages is that 30-minute lockout or time.
Battery
That's
time,
for the recording, yeah.
Yeah.
So
there's two.
With the beta software that you said, you can actually use that then to connect as a webcam, right?
You know what? I downloaded it yesterday or Friday night. I tried it out. Nope. I think it only runs in the US.
Oh, US firmware?
Yeah, it doesn't work in the UK. Or rather, when I installed it on my computer, it didn't work. And I read on the website, supported only in the US.
Oh.
Or something along those lines. I can't remember what the wording is. So I thought, okay, I won't bother.
So what we were saying is, okay, it's great that we have that feature, but if we want to make sure that this is gonna last, we need a commitment from those brands that they say they will keep on doing it, or they will clearly announce it that is gonna be a feature. I mean, it's just finding like HDMI out clean, like without the the options and the OSD on the screen is already hard enough.
Yeah, I feel like this software has only come out because of this thing that everyone's experiencing, that they've got time to spend doing it, or someone's
with all the home office kind of stuff, and working from home, and imagine you didn't have a webcam, but hey, I've got a Canon camera because I use it for photos, right?
Or because all the employees from Canon were working from home and they all had a camera.
Yes, true.
Exactly, and they didn't have a webcam.
Who knows? I mean, I don't know. I don't know anyone at Canon that can reply that question. So no.
Exactly.
Anyway,
crazy.
There's another way to get good camera as well. This one is for the live. I would not recommend it. If you do recorded content, yes, that's not a problem. You can use your phone. You can use a cell phone.
Yeah.
Because
I use some of that.
Cell phone, you're gonna have a better camera. Not on the front side, but on the back side, you're gonna have a better camera than most of the computers with the webcam integrated in there.
Is there a way you can actually connect the camera? Connect the cell phone, USB, whatever, to the computer and use it as a webcam?
Short answer, yes.
All right.
Long answer, good luck with it. No, so actually I have a very good example, and that was something I wanted to talk about. Jan Kutries, Dr. Jan Kutries from Anontech, which is one of the reviewer that is doing stuff in this industry for a long time. He launched his YouTube channel called Tech Potatoes. I love the name. It came as a joke at the beginning and so on. And he is recording his, I think it's like 20-25 minute videos. He's recording them from his cell phone through OBS. So yes, you can do it. But once again, you're going to spend a lot of time figuring things out on how that works. And you cannot use your cell phone during that time.
That's true.
And you should better not have an alarm popping up during that time. There's a lot of other challenges that comes with it.
That's it. It's like he came up with an idea. This phone's got a really good quality camera. Let's see if we could use it, and he just went straight for it.
There's a huge community of what do you call them? Not so much hackers, but they're just hacking the hardware, like Hackintosh, right, and things like that, right? Where, hey, I've got this hardware. It's much more powerful than the MacBook. Or Mac. We can just use it to convert it to a Mac, and then or convert that phone to a camera or whatever.
It is called a hack. It is called a hack. So it's not the hack in the cybersecurity sense of way. Technically, like why I have these Chinese, there's no brand on it. Like good luck finding it, right? This is like a very cheap capture card.
Yeah.
And they can OEM it for me, and it's like, okay, I want this on that, and the only reason why I can do business with them is because I actually got one. I completely tear it out, see how I can use it for different purposes, and then we're good. There's this thing as well, if you want good audio. So for example, if you're a DJ, that's
Is that a mixer?
No, it's basically just a capture card for audio.
Oh, capture card for audio. All right, okay.
So that works pretty well. This one is the iRig Stream. I would not recommend it directly because the connection that they use is something that is, to my opinion, should not exist in 2020.
Cable, right?
No, it's
okay.
just
So
like
S cables on it.
Yeah, and then you have like USB-C or Lightning or regular USB in the back. To my opinion, that should not be designed like this, but it's a personal opinion in that. It's interesting. It works well if you're a DJ. That actually is something you can do. But all in all, keep in mind the light is the most important part for the video quality that you have. You can do a decent quality on a webcam if you have good light. Yeah. You can do a shitty quality stream on a DSLR if you don't have good light.
Yeah, true. All right, so I think we talked enough pretty much about the hardware, software, and technical aspects of streaming. Thanks for your advice, Trouffman. Of course, you can obviously visit Trouffman at Overclocking TV, as well as other website he's managing, and you can actually check his Facebook out and also Twitter, and you can check him out on Twitch as well.
Well, actually, yeah, I can actually say it this way. If you want to find more about Overclocking side, it's Overclocking TV pretty much anywhere. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, at Overclocking TV, all in one word.
Yeah.
If you want to find me, it's Trouffman pretty much anywhere. If it's not me,
tell
me. I want that.
Right? Handle. It's Trouffman.
Yeah, so basically that's like Trouffman. And if you're a company that is looking to get up to speed with a proper system and streaming, you can contact me through Epic Studio, EPEAK studio.com, and then that's where we actually provide the services.
All right, cool. All right, so we'll finish off with general chit chat. We'll have 5 minutes of that, and then we'll close. So general chit chat. So let's talk a little bit about the Bitcoin halving, which is going to be in a couple of weeks. I've mentioned a little bit about that last week with Yao, and to cut kind of long story short, kind of a quick explanation is basically the difficulty of mining a Bitcoin is doubles, and you're going to get a less supply. Less supply means more demand, and then hopefully prices will go up. Is that right?
That's what people expect.
Okay, and it's something I think over the next coming weeks we'll find out more. Whether
I like the way you said less supply, but is there still the same demand?
I believe so. I believe so. We've seen, if you look at the charts right now, it's slowly growing up a little bit. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see. It will never go to the crazy figure that people mention, like, over like 50,000 and stuff like that. I don't think it'll go up to that far. But you will see it go up maybe towards the 10, 12,000 mark, and it'll probably drop a little bit there. Who knows? Who knows? But it'll be interesting to see where the crypto kind of technology is going. Where the cryptocurrency, the whole thing is going to be just something that more niche or just general. Is it going to grow? Is it going to be popular? Who knows? It's been like that for a couple of years, and I think it's still very niche. And who knows?
Without talking about the price, I think what is important about the crypto side right now is think about it. We have almost half of the world that can't go out, and half of the world that struggle to get on a Zoom call. Let's face it this way.
Yeah.
And for something that is supposed to be like accessible to everyone. Now we have a lot of countries straight paying their citizen to stay home because there's no other choice, because most of the people can't work. What is the value of a cryptocurrency that is supposed to be unregulated when you have a government on the other side which is regulating that currency that gives money to everyone? What is the incentive for you to go to crypto when you know that if you're going to get cash, you're not going to get it in crypto, you're going to get it in fiat? So there's a more. So that's going to be interesting to see how that turns out indeed. Not because of the halving, just because of the situation that we are in today. If the government was asking me like, hey, can we pay you in crypto? I would be like, yeah, maybe 50-50, or I don't know, like depends. Do you want me to pay my tax in crypto? Sure, pay me in crypto, no problem. But if I have to pay my taxes in regular fiat money, that's always gonna be the main challenge. If I want to place my money in stock market, there's ways to do it, but technically I can't just get the crypto and just say I want to buy like Tesla shares.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think a lot of if you probably noticed for the last couple of years, a lot of fintech companies, right? And there's one online bank fintech company called I think it's called Revolut. So with Revolut, they've integrated everything into this app, right? It's online only, it's app based only, and you can buy cryptocurrencies, you can trade stocks, you can literally buy cryptocurrency. And then next day, you say you make a profit, you can actually just don't need to convert. You convert it to cash, and then you just buy stocks. It's all done within the app. It's nuts. I don't know how or whether it's like totally legit in terms of where you buy a cryptocurrency, you actually get that hashtag code, whatever it is. I don't think you get that, right? Yo?
Sorry, what?
You know, in Revolut when you buy cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
I don't think you get that proper
No, I don't think so, no.
the code, right?
You don't. That's because you don't own.
You don't own the coins.
Yeah, you don't own the coin.
You own the value for the coins, but not
exactly.
That's true. Yeah, you own the value.
Revolut own the coin, not you.
Yeah, that's true.
So technically, you don't buy coins. You buy a value attached to. It's kind of like buying ETF in the end.
Ah, right. Yeah.
Exactly. You're buying a value for a set of stocks, for example.
Okay. All right, another general chit chat stuff. So, what other things are you into, Trouffman? I know you do a lot of hiking, yeah. Kind of stuff.
I used to.
All right. Okay. That's true. That's back in the day.
Okay, so I used to do a lot of hiking, and that's true, and that's something we discussed in the past as well. I love to go. I love to be a nerd, but I enjoyed going out for a hike with friends. And side story, one of the like 2 years ago, we founded a second company with my co-founder Timothée. The idea came when we were actually hiking. So we had a discussion, like it was not work related, but more like, hey, why people don't do that? Like why? Like it was basically, in long story short, it was basically about why people do always the same thing on trade shows when we see it's not working. So technically, like, yes, your photo booth on the trade show, yeah, that's cool, but what's the ROI from it? There's nothing. Like, you pay for that space, you pay for that people to be there, but nothing is happening with it. Like, people take pictures, but no one share them. So how is that working? And we figured out people were not actually, like, during that, the whole brainstorm was like when we were hiking. Yeah. And at the end, it's like, people don't measure.
I suppose when you go away for a break, that's when you vent your frustration.
Ideas.
And then it's not creating ideas, it's venting frustration, and then it's like, what can we do from it?
Yes, that's exactly how it works. And basically we were hiking, I think end of my light actually went off. End of July, and actually end of August the company was created. It's called Event Analytics, and that's one of the most successful company that we had before the thing happened. So basically,
what does it do? What was it about?
So basically, what we do for Event Analytics is that we help exhibitors on B2B and B2C trade shows, so direct to consumers or direct to other companies. We help them figure out and measure how many people pass by, how long they stay, where they go, and the best part is we don't get any information from the visitors themselves. So you don't have to register, you don't have to be tagged, you don't have to be, I think it's fully anonymous, but we, with the different algorithm and models, we can know which part of the booth was the most interesting one and how people were behaving. So you can readapt either day to day. So for example, if you do Computex or CES, it's multiple.
So this may be a little bit of a trade secret. So how are you using cameras to do that?
I won't disclose all that, but we use a lot of. So it's not a trade secret, but I won't just talk too much about that. Right. We use different technologies. So we do not develop our own tech. We use tech from others. But as we were tech people, we understand exactly how it works, so we can
Right.
configure it.
So you're
the correct
applying
way
you're
for the
applying
client.
technology was already out there. You're applying it, and then for this purpose.
Yes, but we use it in a certain way. So basically, we hack some of the system in a good way, like not a security way.
So
we hack what is supposed to do one thing to do something else sometimes.
So
yes.
you're using technology to help you do performance indicators.
Yes.
Yeah. So
in-person performance indicators. Yeah.
For example, object detection, object recognition. So basically, for example, like Winston said, you may have cameras in there which obviously look over areas in certain parts of the booth. For example, memory and motherboards.
There's a lot of ways to do it.
Yeah, a lot of people flock to the motherboards and your object detection. Detects a lot of people moving around.
So
area,
this is more like AI, right? So machine learning kind of AI stuff.
Okay. Yes, there's AI being used, but it's not AI. It's algorithm. So I don't like people say, "Oh, are you using AI?" Well, technically, yes. Some of our providers are using AI, but I'm not gonna use AI with you because then you're just gonna talk about that. So
exactly. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's more about machine learning rather than AI.
Yeah. You have an algorithm that is supposed to spit out something based on data.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
technically,
cool.
yes, it's big data. Yeah, big data. That's true. AI, not so much.
Right. So as I mentioned earlier.
No hacking beside that.
Yeah, actually, for me, I've been doing a lot. Well, I have been doing a lot, but I haven't done it for a few months because of this whole crisis thing. So yeah, I've been doing a lot of gym work and I think get fitness, like you said, you're doing a bit of hiking before and so on like that. So yeah, I think keeping your health is important. I think that's good. It keeps your mind fresh and focused. Apart from that, well, me, you, and Yao have been working on this stream. So again, this is something that I want to do every week now, trying to get this stream going, get the format right, and then just doing it regular. And once you get the hang of it and get used to it, then everything should fall into place. And that's something I'm going to be continue doing. And and I would love to have guests like you on board, just to have just general chit chat and any general topics that you want to discuss. And then what have you been up to, or what you plan to do for the next couple of weeks?
Oh, mainly work, because I work for a company which works closely with the government, and because of this thing, I've been busy looking after their systems.
So you're just working from home, right?
Working from home, yeah, obviously, as a tech company.
But you're also learning a lot about water cooling and hardware and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, not so much. Because I have to do a bit of programming and things like that. I've been on my weekends. I've been spending obviously time mulling over the rig builder and how to improve it, and then also this weekend I've been looking into machine learning, TensorFlow and things like that. And because I have a garden and cats visit my garden.
Cats.
And use it as their
sanctuary.
As their toilet, I should say.
Cats.
So I'm trying to use TensorFlow to do object detection, right? And it works.
What are you trying to detect? The cat or the thing that the cat does?
The cat.
hey, you two. I reckon you two, Trouffman and Yao, should get together and think of some crazy ideas to get this. I don't know. Some.
I can see that if we talk together too long, that's gonna be another company for sure.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but I'm trying to detect the cat and then trigger off a sprinkler. Just all this kind of the maker stuff, as they call it.
The maker stuff. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Just doing some hacks and then just getting things working.
Basically, it's just so I can slightly improve my life, and not having to clean up after the cat, I should say.
All right, so I think we'll pretty end now. We'll quickly talk about the competition that we have on our website, and that is you're gonna get a chance to win $100 a gift card from Amazon. Check out our website at amd3d.com. You can also win an ASRock motherboard, the X470, which is still a very good board, and you still run a Ryzen 7, the third generation processors on that. You can check out the Funky Kit website for more on that. So, I think it's been a pretty good stream. Trouffman, what do you think? Give it out of 10.
I would say 7. There's a lot of technical stuff that you have to figure out, but I will be able to help you if you need to.
Yeah, that's cool.
But otherwise, that's fun. I mean, it's fun to do. The only reason why we stopped doing it is because we could not do it for either legal reasons or time. But otherwise, yes, it's always fun.
It's always nice to catch up with you because we love having you on board. Just have as a guest, just talk about stuff and just up to date with what you've been up to. And I think it's been great, and we're going to keep doing this every Sunday. And if you'd like to join anytime, just ping me. And I think we'll call it a day for this stream. Yao, we got any more inputs? Yao?
None from me.
Okay, so we'll call it a day. So thanks, guys, for watching our stream. Hope you enjoy it. Give us your feedback, and of course, visit our website for more news, reviews at funkykit.com, and also check out our YouTube channel at funkykit. So thank you. See ya, guys.
Bye. Thanks for having me.